Okay, that's enough theatrics for one video. So, anyways, how's it going, YouTube? Dallas Boy here, back in with another Pokemon Showdown battle. Today's battle is going to be against Clone, who is a moderator in the OU room on Pokemon Showdown. And this battle took place during a OU suspect tour that we were both paired in the second round. And if you guys aren't aware of this suspect test, the OU Council has decided to suspect Giratina-Origin, as it'll help, quote-unquote, balance the meta. It kind of sort of counters Landorus-Incarnate and Mega Metagross, so make them not appear as broken as they are in the metagame. So, yeah, that's pretty much why it's being tested. So, anyways, looking at teams, I'm looking at the ANC, and it is definitely the biggest threat to my team, as it can pretty much nail my entire team with a Moonblast for super heavy damage. Well, Moonblast or Earth Power, whichever he wants to run. So, I definitely need Clefable to try to wall DNC to an extent. And I can also use Manaphy to try to scare it off with a Scald and deal with it from there. So that will definitely be a very important role for Manaphy. And my Giratina-Origin also winds up doing a nice chunk to his entire team, bar DNC. So pretty much my main concerns are keep Giratina-Origin, Manaphy, and Clefable alive, and I should be okay for this match. So hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and let's get this show on the road. So starting off, I'm going to be leading off with my Heatran, and he's going to lead off with his DNC to try to get the Mega up on turn 1 with Protect, which is kind of obvious. So I'm just going to be going to Manaphy as he does go for Protect. So now I can pretty much scare him off with the Scald, and he opts to go into his Starmie, for that matter. So I pretty much want to go into my Clefable here, as it is the best thing I have to take on Thunderbolt from this thing. And judging from his team comp and how much Thunderbolt did, that is looking like an analytic Starmie. So I'm gonna have to be on my toes for this thing as well. So if I want to bring my Giratina-Origin or whatever for this thing. So yeah. And from this point, the switch in the Scizor is kind of obvious. So I'm going to be going into my Giratina-Origin to try to bust that thing. But he winds up going into his Volcarona, which is still pretty beneficial for me, as I can just try to fire off a Shadow Ball on this thing. He goes into Scizor here, and it just decides to shoot 2 Shadow Balls here. And that's just going to allow him to bring DNC back in. And I, obviously, from my team composition, do not have much for DNC. And with Giratina-Origin versus DNC, it's basically a sack war. And I guess you can say the same with Manaphy as well. Basically just sack wars. DNC versus, or DNC and Starmie versus Giratina-Origin and Manaphy. Big fat sack war. So, like I said, I do go into my Clefable, and yeah, Protect here is not going to save me from how much damage that did, and from the prior damage I took from the Starmie. So, Clefable, you're pretty much going to have to bite the dust so I can just bring in Manaphy on the next turn. And judging by how I went for Scald, I go for Energy Ball here, thinking that he might want to go into Starmie, judging by how he switched in last time. But he goes out in the Azelf, pretty much gets the opportunity to set up rocks, as I send in my Giratina here. Goes for the Dazzling Gleam to get some chip damage off, and I just fire off the Shadow Ball to take that thing out. Crit didn't matter, because Azelf, not that bulky. But now, he gets another free switch into his DNC. And Dental Crocker, Bisharp, yeah. Just take a Moonblast and die. So I can just bring in Manaphy here. And judging by how I how I do pack the Scald here. I I went for Energy Ball last time. Didn't think he'd go in to start me there. Takes Scald, switching Heat Ring, goes to Hydro Pump, misses, and that is actually going to be very important. Because I'm at about 94% HP or so. And, if that was an Analytic Hydro Pump, it would have taken me out. So, after the burn damage, I can actually just set up rocks since I know that the DNC is not going to be coming in. So, I can pretty much go for rock and cripple the Volcarona for the rest of the match. And get a nice little bit of chip damage off on Landorus and DNC, I guess. So, after the burn and whatnot, he's going to be going for the Hydro Pump. I live with 7 HP remaining, and I'm able to get up my Stealth Rocks, and that Stormy is pretty much out of the way. And now out comes Landorus-Incarnate. Here I'm just pretty much thinking that I'm gonna let my Heatran die, I guess, and he winds up setting up a Rock Polish here. So, I get some nice chip damage off on that, and then he just takes me out with Nerf Power here. And now, I'm pretty much forced to go into my Glade here. I go into Glade over Manatee or Giratina-Origin because I do not have a lot of stacks left for DNC. And if I send in my Glade here and get a Mega off on it, I can get a Speed Tie off on that. And on some extra calcs, I did run a calc, and an Earth Power from Landorus, if it's modest, it only has a 6.3% chance from OHKOing my Glade after Stealth Rocks. So that's pretty much why I made this switch. So I go for the Mega Evolution. I tank the Earth Power with 10% HP left, get the Zen Headbutt off, and Landorus-Incarnate is no more. So now he's gonna be going out to his DNC. I do wind up winning the Speed Tie, get off the close combat, and the biggest threat to my team is out of the way. And now his last Pokemon is the Volcarona, and I'm just going to be firing off his Zen Headbutt, and that would be the game. A little crit to rub salt in the wounds, and Jeffrey there gets burned. But yeah, that was the game, and my thoughts on Giratina-Origin. Although it is nice to have a check to Landorus-Incarnate and Mega Metagross as well as Keldeo, Giratina-Origin might be a little bit too over-centralizing for the meta, and will be pretty much run on a lot of teams. Definitely quite bulky with its 150, 100, 100 defenses. So, as much as it will help with Landorus-Incarnate and Mega Metagross, I don't see it really fitting into OU that much. Because, definitely what you saw from this battle, he pretty much had a stack against it. So, anyways, good game, clone, rate, comment, sub, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.